leaving everyone breathless. Madonna's latest video, Hanky Panky.
Come on, baby. Some girls, they like candy, and others, they like to grind. I'll settle for the back of your hand, somewhere on my behind. Treat me like I'm a bad girl, even when I'm being good to you. I don't want you to thank me, you can just spank me. Some guys like to sweet talk, and others they like to tease. Tie my hands behind my back and ooh, I'm in ecstasy. Don't stop me with kisses, I can get that from my sisters. Before I get too cranky, you better like hanky panky. Nothing like a good spanky. Don't take out your handkerchiefs, I don't wanna cry, I just wanna hanky panky, like hanky panky. Nothing like a good spanky. Don't take out your handkerchiefs, I don't wanna cry, I just wanna hanky panky guy. Please don't call a doctor, 'cause there's nothing wrong with me. I just like things a little rough, and you better not disagree. 'Cause I don't like a big softy, no, I like someone mean and bossy. Let me speak to you frankly, you better like hanky panky. Nothing like a good spanky. Don't take out your handkerchiefs, I don't wanna cry, I just wanna hanky panky, like hanky panky. Nothing like a good spanky. Don't take out your handkerchiefs, I don't wanna cry, I just wanna hanky panky guy. Ooh, yeah. What about, yeah, that's an interesting. My bottom hurts just thinking about it. She wants you to treat me like I'm a bad girl, even when I'm being good to you. I don't want you to thank me, you better like hanky panky. Nothing like a good spanky. Don't take out your handkerchiefs, I don't wanna cry, I just wanna hanky panky, like hanky panky. Nothing like a good spanky. Don't take out your handkerchiefs, I don't wanna cry, I just wanna hanky panky guy. Ooh, yeah. Get the picture. That's the way I came into this world. The doctor said, lady, she's a beautiful girl. He gave me a spanky and the doctor smiled. So give it up, honey, 'cause I want
Hanky Panky from Madonna's latest album, I'm Breathless, which was inspired by her role in Dick Tracy, in which she plays the sultry nightclub singer Breathless Mahoney.
Aren't you gonna frisk me?
Madonna co-stars with Warren Beatty in Dick Tracy as Breathless Mahoney, a nightclub singer who knows how to keep a cop torn between duty and desire.
You know it's legal for me to take you down to the station and sweat it out of you under the
I
lights.
sweat a lot better in the dark.
Breathless is the seductive side of a triangle that threatens to unravel Tracy's romance with girlfriend Tess Trueheart and ruin his reputation as history's toughest, smartest, most incorruptible crime fighter.
I was beginning to wonder what a girl had to do to get arrested.
Wearing that dress is a step in the right direction.
Breathless wears a lot of tight dresses. Those are her redeeming qualities. She has a vulnerable side, so if anyone can manage to be a villainess and vulnerable at the same time, that's interesting to me.
Madonna credits her success to taking chances, always doing something different. In the case of Dick Tracy, that meant developing a whole new singing style in order to master 3 original songs by top Broadway composer Stephen Sondheim.
When I first heard them, I just said, I can't sing those kind of songs. And it was a great learning experience, because you have to learn something and then you have to make it your own. If you didn't write it, you know, find what it is that's you in it. It was hard. And Stephen was very, very helpful and generous, and he gave me a lot of encouragement.
5, 6, 7, and.
Each possession you possess helps your spirit soar.
Working under the watchful eyes of choreographer Jeff Hornaday and director Warren Beatty, Madonna rehearsed for Dick Tracy as hard as she ever had for any concert tour, including camping it up in a chorus girl parody called More.
It's hard to do a song badly, which is what I was supposed to be doing in that scene. So Warren was constantly telling me to not do it so good, to not move well, to not sing well, to just kind of drip through it. But after doing 100 takes of it, it wasn't hard to feel that way. I mean, it was painful, but that's fine.
Madonna in her current hit movie Dick Tracy, which has already grossed over $100 million at the US box office. This time last year, she was in the charts with a hit that went to number 5, Express Yourself. We're counting down to our Sky Movies special event, Madonna live in concert at 9 o'clock. And we're going back to 1987 now for a look at Madonna's big film from that year, Who's That Girl?
Nikki Finn just spent 4 years in the slammer for a crime she didn't commit.
Nicole Finn.
That's me.
Parole granted.
Now that she's free, she's gonna save her reputation.
Am I free now?
Yeah, you're free.
Good. Be nice.
Tax attorney Loudon Trott is about to marry the boss's daughter, and he has every little thing under control.
Wendy, I'll be with you.
Darling, don't forget, 11:10 you're being fitted for your tuxedo, and you're meeting us at 12:30 for lunch.
Got it. I'm on top of it here.
Well, thanks for calling, Milton.
He even has time to do a small favor for his future father-in-law.
A woman named Nikki Finn is being paroled from Rockford Correctional this afternoon. They're sending her home to Philadelphia. I want you to drive her to the bus station.
Oh, dear Lord.
But when Loudon meets Nikki, his ordered world begins to crumble, and a trip to the bus station becomes the ride of a lifetime.
Hey, come on! Are you out here running? See? Fucking the slants, nobody scratches.
Who are you?
I liked her dual personality, her tough side and her sweet side. And that's kind of what the movie's about, sweetness and toughness. Thank you. And obviously when there is a toughness, it's only a mask for the vulnerability that she feels. What do you say, you help me?
Help you what?
Clear my name.
Clear your name. That's what this is all about? Clearing your name?
Yeah.
Why don't you just go steal one?
Come on, just help me out, and I'll be on the next bus, I swear to God, Trot. Don't send me back to Philly a murderess.
He's never met anyone like this woman, and he is actually having sort of a good time. I mean, he has this sort of fascination, maybe a repellent one, but he's amazed at just how horrible everything is getting. And sometimes he just laughs, you know? I'm obviously chasing him, and he doesn't want to have anything to do with me. He's frightened of me. But he likes me, too. It's, you know, it's like any other relationship. One person is the pursuer, and the other person plays hard to get.
You know what I think, Trot? I think that you want to stay with me. Yeah, but you just can't admit it.
You think that I would want to stay with you? I mean, that I would actually want to stay with you? Do you believe this? Lady, I'm surprised your shadow keeps you company.
All right, where's Murray? Along the way to clearing her name, Nikki and Loudon have all sorts of interesting encounters. Murray the Cougar stars as the rare Patagonian Felis concolor cougar, which Loudon must deliver to his most important client, played by Sir John Mills.
Excuse the mess. I recently lost Elwood, my housekeeper. He quit? No. I lost him. I think he's in the West Wing somewhere.
Haviland Morris is Wendy, undisputed Deb of the century, and Loudon's bride-to-be.
Perhaps Burt Bacharach is right. Love, sweet love. Perhaps it really is the only thing this does too little of.
I described it to someone recently. It's sort of like the whole family is a little bit overbred. You know, like when you know how if you have an Irish setter who's sort of, the genes are too good, they're a little nuts.
Underground rock and roller Cody Mundy of Kid Creole and the Coconuts stars with Dennis Berkeley as the bald-headed bad guys who set Nicky up.
Now talk! Cartier closed in half an hour.
I got to shave my head for this role, so it's kind of a treat. I wanted to look like my hero.
That's right.
And he told me to put baby lotion on it, or what is it? So you get diaper rash.
No, yeah, well, you got to put ointment on it so that it doesn't get
diaper rash.
Infected, diaper rash, yeah, that kind of thing.
In fact, if we put our heads together, it looks a lot like Kabottom, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, Dad, you're so funny.
Okay, cut! A sense of lighthearted fun pervaded the set of Who's That Girl, and director James Foley strove to capture this spirit on screen.
And what I love so much about the script is that there is just an undeniable, effortless sweetness that permeates from frame one to the end. So even though she's an ex-con, and there's a wild animal, and there's all sorts of chases and guns and cops and robbers, it's all done in sort of the best kind of fantasy, sweet movie terms.
This is Sky Movies, and right now it's Madonna's #1 hit from last year, her most controversial video, Like a Prayer. Madonna is no stranger to controversy or to the attentions of the media. When she was in London 2 weeks ago for her concerts at Wembley, she caused a real stir by going for a run in Hyde Park.
Madonna's views on the British press are well documented. She hates it. In London, for the UK leg of her world tour, she gave them a run for their money.
She knows anyway what it's like here. She's probably laughing. I think she thinks it's funny.
Madonna is the biggest of the lot, no question about that. She's created this thing herself, and she's done it absolutely brilliantly.
All's fair in love and business.
She may be publicity shy, but Madonna's lunchtime jogs around a packed Hyde Park in sweltering heat were a publicity man's dream.
I can't believe I've actually seen her, even though I like the bodyguards really in tight. But I mean, they were really great. I mean, there's all the stories in the press about pushing and shoving. There was none of that today.
I think she's off a rocker. I mean, I said, Mad Dog's an Englishman and Madonna out in this heat. It's a bit for publicity, I think.
Well, I think a lot of that's carefully worked out. I think a bunch of people sit down in a room in New York before they come here and say, now how are we going to get on the front pages of newspapers? And I think that if she thought that by going to some sick children's hospital, she would get even more publicity, she'd be doing that rather than running in Hyde Park. I think Madonna, all that matters is that she gets the maximum amount of hype and as a result the maximum amount of money.
And it worked. Madonna mania ran riot. The diminutive star scored more headline-hitting stories in 3 days than most pop stars could ever wish for. Her love life was exposed, her bodyguards' backgrounds came under scrutiny, and there were plenty of column inches devoted to her raunchy stage show. It was a gift for Fleet Street.
Madonna knows, and I've been told too, about how the press is here, and you just kind of have to know the way it is, and it doesn't surprise you if you know, because you obviously will read things that are so untrue. Of course, in America and everywhere they'll have those things, but here I think it's just like completely, they'll hear an interview somewhere and take things from that and twist it around, and then it's just, things are just so untrue.
This one's not going to run out of steam for a long time. There's a lot of mileage in this girl. She's fit, she's producing good things. The new film, Dick Tracy, proves that there's more to Madonna even than we'd realized. This one will run and run. There's a lot of steam left in Madonna. There's a lot more to come.
You know it's legal for me to take you down to the station and sweat it out of you under the lights.
I sweat a lot better in the dark.
Dick Tracy represents a watershed in Madonna's career. Her role as Breathless Mahoney was widely acclaimed. As an actress, she'd arrived. Off-screen, the unrelenting hype continued. Was the reported relationship with Warren Beatty for real, or was it yet another cog in the ever-productive publicity works?
Whose side are you on?
Side I'm always on. Mine.
Madonna, the countdown continues as we take you through to 9 o'clock in her concert live from Barcelona. But now we're going back to last September for a hit that went to number 3 on the charts, Cherish. Cherish and Madonna, who made her debut in the movies in 1985 when she starred in that off-the-wall comedy thriller Desperately Seeking Susan.
Susan! Good going, stranger.
It featured the song that became her first #1 hit. This is Sky Movies.
For inspiration.
Don't forget, Madonna is live at 9.
Come on, come on.
And here's that first #1 hit, Into the Groove. So there's Madonna in Desperately Seeking Susan. Now we're rejoining her on the streets of New York City, along with that troublesome cougar, in a look at the making of her movie, Who's That Girl?
Rock and roll superstar Madonna caused quite a commotion herself when she, along with co-star Griffin Dunn, director James Foley, and a 160-pound wild cougar invaded Manhattan to shoot Who's That Girl?
It was very hard. The very pulse of the city and the noise of the city and the difficulty of controlling things is hard enough. And with Madonna being in the street, it just amplified that times a million.
This has been my biggest educational experience as an actress.
Action! All right, everybody just stay calm. Change of partners here.
I'm doing things differently. Well, the more movies you do, the more comfortable you feel with it. I don't know, I feel like it's really the first movie I've made, you know? I just understand it completely. The first couple of times I think you kind of walk around feeling your way through it, you know? Which isn't to say that I don't have my moments of doubt, you know, am I doing this right? But I feel really good about it.
While Madonna was the main attraction, her co-star Murray the Cougar also generated a lot of excitement on the streets of New York. But Murray was a little overwhelmed by all the attention.
Working in New York, obviously, is much different than working in L.A. or any place else. It's intimidating to me. I mean, it was very intimidating to the animals. We had some requirements that we had to do in New York, and one was putting up double sets of 12-foot nets. We had 4 sharpshooters on the set all the time. We had the American Humane Society from New York. We had the Animal Control from New York.
Guys, fall back a little bit more, please.
You can take a domesticated house cat, and you take a little mouse or a little bird, and you put down there with your cat and see how quick he jumps it and eats it. Well, we're all mice and birds to these exotic animals, and it's the things we do and we don't do that keep us out of trouble.
Ever since she began turning out hit records, Madonna has been setting fashion trends. While creating a look for Nikki Finn, costume designer Deborah Scott never lost sight of Madonna's impact on the fashion world.
In general, when I do a movie, I don't try to think about, oh, you know, are people in 6 months, are people going to be wearing this? But with something like this, you do take that into account because there's, you know, teenagers all over America that sort of follow her style. And that it definitely has an influence. I don't think it makes you decide what she's going to wear on that basis, but you're always thinking about it.
She's crazy! Look how she's dressed!
I mean, there's no escaping the fact that Madonna's who she is, and even though she's playing a character, you're dressing a personality who makes quite a statement of her own. And no matter what she wears would be a statement. No statement would be some statement.
I am late. Just overcommitted myself. You understand, huh?
No problem at all. Please take a seat.
Who is that? Shh, don't do just me. Nobody ignores Nicky Finn.
Despite Nicky's hair-raising hijinks, nobody gets hurt in Who's That Girl? Except perhaps a $152,000 Rolls-Royce Corniche convertible. 4 different Rolls-Royces were used and abused during the film shoot. Bashed, battered, stripped, and spray-painted, one Rolls eventually falls apart from fatigue.
Background! Action!
But for Madonna, the main concern on the set of Who's That Girl was keeping the material fresh and funny. And that meant trusting director Foley's instincts.
You think I'm going too slow?
No, you're going faster.
I'm going as fast as my tight skirt will carry me. We do takes and takes and takes, and a way I was sure was going to work, and then Jamie would suggest trying just one little thing different, and I would swear that that was completely wrong and be so adamant about it, and then I'd do it and realize that he was completely right. And then I'd have to eat my shoe or something. But
Madonna on Sky Movies. We'll be joining her live on stage in Barcelona in just 20 minutes at 9 o'clock. Coming up now, from earlier this year, let's strike the pose with her latest #1 hit and a video shot by top fashion photographer Herb Ritz. Here's Madonna voguing her way to #1 earlier this year. Now we go back a couple of weeks for a recap on what the paper said when her Blonde Ambition tour arrived in London.
My bottom hurts just thinking about it. She wants you to treat me like I'm a bad girl, even when I'm being good to you. But I don't want you to thank me. You better like a hanky. Nothing like a good spanky. Don't take out the handkerchiefs. I don't wanna cry. I just wanna hanky like hanky. Nothing like a good spanky. Don't take out your handkerchiefs. I don't wanna cry. I just wanna hanky guy. Yeah. Get the picture. That's the way I came into this world. The doctor lady, she's a beautiful girl.
Coming up now is a song that Madonna recorded for a film in 1986. It starred her then husband, Sean Penn. The movie was at close range, and the song on Sky Movies lived. The countdown continues, with just 11 minutes to go before we join Madonna live on stage on her Blonde Ambition tour. She only starred in one movie with Sean Penn, a comedy adventure in which she played, of all things, a missionary. The movie was Shanghai Surprise.
I could comfort you or hold you for some time. I need you now to be beside me while all my world is sad and crazy. Loneliness, empty faces. Wish I could leave them all in someplace else.
I found in Desperately Seeking Susan that you are an incredible screen presence, I have to say that. And I hope you continue to be so.
Thank you, Baz.
But can you tell me how, I've heard from people in the States that you want to further your screen career rather than your record one. You want to. That's what I hear.
Well,
is that true?
I
Can you
just
tell us what
spent
movie plans you have down the
2.5
line?
months working on a record, and I haven't completed it yet. I still have a lot of mixing to do on it. And then I left to finish this movie, and then as soon as I finish this, I'm going back to California to finish the record, which will be out in June.
What is that called, Madonna?
It's called Live to Tell.
Can you tell us a bit about your role in the film and about the locations and working with your husband, Sean Penn?
Okay, the movie takes place in Shanghai in 1938. And I play a missionary. And let's see. The reason I'm there is because at the time, I mean, you have to think about what was going on, the political climate in the United States. At that time, there was a real big depression.
Set in the 30s.
Yeah, and there weren't a lot of jobs for people. Unemployment was at an all-time high, and there weren't a lot of opportunities for young women. So rather than stay home and get married and raise children or stand in a bread line or work in a sweatshop, I wanted to do something exciting with my life, so I go to Shanghai to become a missionary and help people.
Do you succeed?
Yes.
Madonna, I hear your management contract is up for sale. Did you know that? And George, would you like to buy it? I don't know.
You're a little troublemaker, aren't you?
I'm not the only one here. It's a room full of them.
Should be sailing away on a liner. I was knocked down my back on a dock at Yangtze. It's a hell of a way to see China, but I'm ready. You must be crazy, and you got no money, and you're a liar. I'm straight to diaphragm, the walk into the fire. I like to trust you, but I've broken my nature. Sometimes there's no hope in chasing opium. I like to love you, but I'm not sure what's in your eyes. Shanghai surprise.
Whatever you're saying, I want it anyway. Been hanging round like a kid at your back. You could be kinder and show me Asia Minor. I'll let you love me, let you see what's here in my eyes. Shanghai surprise. Don't just stand there, let's get to it. Strike a pose, there's nothing to it. Vogue. Don't just stand there, let's get to it. Strike a pose, there's nothing to it. Vogue. When you see her, say a prayer and kiss your heart goodbye. She's trouble in a wood, get closer to the fire.
time for our Sky Movies special event. We're going over to Barcelona to join the Material Girl herself, live in concert on her Blonde Ambition tour. It's Madonna!